What we made of time left. Chapter 5. It was past midnight when June and Minky finally arrived at Minky's place. The apartment building looked worn down with only 10 floors. Several windows were dark, most residents already asleep. "Thanks for letting me stay," June said as Minky helped him up the stairs. "Thanks for not telling my boss about my age," Minky replied with a small smile. June shook his head. "You should find a job more suitable for your age. People will figure it out sooner or later. I'm just hopping from job to job." "I'll find something eventually," Minky said confidently. At the hospital earlier, Kai had hesitated to let his brother-in-law stay with his new employee, especially since he didn't know Minky at all. But because dealing with it would be troublesome to report back home, he eventually gave in and agreed to June's decision. Minky had also been excused from his night shift after helping June. When they reached the 7th floor, they still had a bit further to walk to Minky's unit. "So about earlier, I overheard the doctor talking about your illness," Minky said carefully. "Yeah, I'm just glad I'm still breathing right now," June replied calmly. Minky's hand trembled slightly as he unlocked his door after hearing that. Slowly, he pushed it open and let the bald man inside. The apartment wasn't too bad, even though it didn't have a proper bedroom. There was a small space with a bedsheet laid out on the floor and a small table. June assumed Minky must eat and study there. The bathroom was small but very clean. There weren't many things in the room. A school uniform was hung on the wall and a timetable sheet was taped behind the door. "I'm sorry about the messy place. I should have cleaned it up first," Minky said as he quickly started putting away his school uniform into the closet. "Hey kid, don't worry. I'm not going to sleep here anyway. I just wanted to make sure Kai Hyung knows I have a place to stay. At least that'll put him at ease," June said, turning toward the door and pulling it open. Minky was shocked to hear that. He rushed forward and blocked the door before the bald man could leave. "What are you doing? Kid, why are you? Stop it right there. You're sick and now you're going out to sleep on a bench in the park again. Do you want to kill yourself again?" Minky snapped, his voice shaking with anger. "I know you said you don't have much time left, but what about the rest of that time? Do you want to spend it just waiting to die?" Minky's words struck June like a sharp blow, sinking deep into his chest. June stood still. For a moment, he didn't respond at all. His hand was still on the door, but his grip loosened slightly. "You talk too much for a kid," he finally said, but his voice was quieter than before. Minky didn't move. He was still blocking the door, breathing hard. "I'm serious," Minky said, his voice lower now. "Don't just throw your life away like it's nothing." Silence filled the small apartment. It felt tighter than the room itself. June slowly turned his head toward him. "You think I want to die?" he asked. Minky hesitated. That confidence from earlier started to crack. "I don't know," he admitted. "But you act like it doesn't matter if you disappear tonight or tomorrow." June let out a small breath, almost a laugh, but not quite. "That's not it," he said. "It's just easier that way." Minky frowned. "Easier for who?" June didn't answer immediately. His eyes drifted past Minky, toward the small, quiet room, the messy bed, the school uniform hanging neatly, the timetable on the door. "A life still trying, still moving forward. People like you don't understand," June muttered. "That's fine," Minky shot back immediately. "Then explain it." That made June pause again. For the first time that night, he didn't have a quick answer. "What do you know, kid? Yes, waiting to die feels like shit. But what can I do right now? I'm already a piece of shit, a useless son who can't even take care of himself because he got sick. I keep making my family worry all the time. They only see me as a burden. Why should I stick around when I just keep fainting everywhere? The best thing to do is lie on that bench outside and wait until someone stabs me to death." June finally let everything out. Afterward, he felt a strange sense of relief. Minky looked down at the ground. So he wasn't the only one who felt like this. For a moment, he couldn't believe it. He had always thought he was the only one in the world living like this, feeling this worthless. Then he slowly looked up at the bald man. June's eyes were red. It was obvious he was on the verge of crying. Minky didn't speak right away. The anger from earlier was still there, but it didn't feel as sharp anymore. Instead, something heavier sat in his chest. "That's not the only option," Minky finally said, but his voice wasn't as loud as before. June let out a short, tired breath. "Easy for you to say. Minky frowned. I'm not saying it's easy. He hesitated, then added, but you're still here. That already means something. June looked at him, almost like he didn't understand why the kid was still talking. What something? Minky's grip on the door slowly loosened. I don't know, he admitted honestly. But if you're already here, then don't just throw it away like it's nothing. Silence followed again. This time it wasn't as sharp. June looked away first. His shoulders dropped slightly, like the fight had finally left him. You're annoying, he muttered. Minky blinked, then gave a small, tired smile. Actually, I just realized I'm a piece of shit too, he said, letting out a quiet chuckle. June paused. Then unexpectedly, he let out a small laugh as well. Well, that makes two of us then, he said. He didn't even know why, but something about this stubborn kid made him want to laugh after everything he had just said. The tension didn't disappear, but it softened. Just a little. But June didn't push the door again. He just stood there, still inside the apartment, as if he had forgotten why he even wanted to leave. After a moment, he spoke again, quieter this time. I'm not going to the bench tonight. Minky didn't respond immediately. He just nodded once. Good, he said simply.